My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my favorite PrizePicks entry for UFC 298. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say more or less than the numbers you see on the screen, and if you are correct, you can 10 times your money. You can mix and match sports, and they will even give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks. Use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match your deposit. If you give them $20, they'll give you $20. If you give them $100, they will give you $100 instantly that you can use to build some entries. And you hit your entries, you can immediately withdraw that money right off. Run away, or more likely, buy yourself a decent lunch, and then you have to come back and do it again. But either way, wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP. Let's go ahead and break down this card. Obviously, this is every sport, including video games. Never know. Darts. We learned last week that darts are a possibility here. So good luck with that. Val is a thing. Trucks. I mean, it is wild how many sports they have on here. Some of these aren't even sports. But go ahead. Here we go. Significant strikes. Not a lot to choose from. I don't love a lot of these. A lot of these lines are insanely difficult. The Miranda Maverick 50, that stood out at me. Like, she should get past that. Female fight, I actually think it goes the distance. It should be a good amount of control time, some strikes on top. And then I went through her fight history, and that's an insanely tough line. Insanely tough line. Oban Elliott, UFC debut. We can't do that. Same logic with Danny Barlow. Same logic with Zhang Minyang. Then we have Rinya Nakamura, which seems like an insanely low line here, because I think this fight does go longer than most people expect it to. And then you go through his fight history, and he is perfectly happy laying on you like a wet blanket and not actually moving his hands at all. So again, these are all insanely tough lines. You don't want to touch heavyweights. While 19.5 significant strikes seems low, he landed 0 in his last, not even 1 in his last fight. So I don't love any of these. The one that I do love, though, is the Alexander Volkanovski 85.5 significant strike line. If we go through his fight history, 90+% of his fights, he cruises past this number. Cruises past it, almost doubles it. The only times he hasn't hit these numbers are because Islam Makhachev is a 155-pound beast. So yeah, he didn't get to it in that last fight. But he does tend to blow past this number, especially at this weight class, especially in 5-round fights. And I think we all agree that this fight probably goes a little bit. And the only way Volk's going to win it is if he stays busy, if he stays in Ilya's face and doesn't give Ilya that time to land those big punches. So I like Volkanovski to get past that number. If we go over to fight minutes, we have a very favorable line with Amanda Lemos, 10.5 fight minutes. If you watch the Underdog Fantasy video, it's 11.5 fight minutes over there, and I like that. So 10.5 fight minutes is solid to me. I do think this fight goes longer than people are expecting it to. Yes, we just watched Mackenzie Dern get CTE. We just watched it happen. But that was to Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade is probably the most powerful, hardest-hitting woman in that division. And while Amanda Lemos is a good striker and she hits hard, it's not that same level of power. Plus, I think Amanda Lemos has good enough jiu-jitsu to not get submitted. And she definitely has good enough takedown defense to not get taken down. Everybody does. Literally everybody does. So now we have 2 women. One needs to get on the ground. The other's a dangerous striker, but likely isn't going to land that big power. And we just need this fight to go a little bit into the 3rd round, and I think we are good there. I actually sneaky under 2.5 is minus money, meaning this fight is expected not to go 3 full rounds. I do think it goes 3 full rounds. So I'm good with this line here. The rest of them, again, they're tricky for all the reasons I mentioned before. 3 UFC debuts, a nonstop wrestler. The more on Rinya Nakamura is solid, but Carlos Vera, also a debut, relatively untested. So we'll leave that alone. Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Does this get out of the 1st round? If you think so, then the more here is good. Anthony Hernandez, 9.75 fight minutes. I would lean the less on that, frankly, because I think he's either going to get Roman to the ground and finish it off, or Roman's going to take Anthony's head off. And it probably happens earlier in the 2nd round. I think the 1st round's a little bit of feeling out, and then a little bit of a war. Somebody survives. 2nd round will determine everything. But I'm not confident enough to do that here. And if you like Alexander Volkanovski's fight minutes more than his significant strikes, go that route. 17 and a half fight minutes if you think it goes a little bit longer. But we're going to go over to fantasy score. I don't love any of the fantasy scores. I'm not playing any of them, but let me show you the scoring chart. You're going to get 0.6 points for every significant strike landed. You are going to get 6 points for takedowns. What is unique to their scoring system is you will get 3 points for takedowns defended. And you know what? If we had our little baby Olympian in here, Henry Cejudo, I would play his fantasy because while I think Merab gets a bunch of takedowns, he's going to defend a whole bunch as well. I mean, Merab's takedown accuracy is very low, but it's not because his skills aren't there. It's because he's constantly shooting takedowns. So that was the scoring situation. I don't love any of these fantasy lines, but if we go to takedowns, I do like a couple of these, including the Merab more than 3.5 takedowns. Aljamain Sterling took down Henry Cejudo 4 times. Yes, that fight was 5 rounds instead of 3, but Aljamain Sterling's takedowns basically suck. Merab's don't suck. Merab took down Petr Yan 11 times. 11 times he took that dude down. So I think we're going to get 4 takedowns out of Merab in this fight. Henry Cejudo is durable. Henry Cejudo will defend a whole bunch, but he'll be taking down a whole bunch as well. So I think we're going to get past the 3.5 takedowns from Merab. The Miranda Maverick, 2.5 takedown line. It's probably a more there, but we'll leave it alone. And the Rinya Nakamura, also probably a more, but we'll leave it alone. Here's the entry. I already have it built. Let's take a look. We have Alexander Volkanovski more than the 85.5 significant strikes. Amanda Lemos more than the 10.5 fight minutes. And Merab Dvalishvili to take down Henry Cejudo 4 times. We need more than 3.5 takedowns. This is my entry. If you love it, great. If you hate it, that's fine too. Just get your free money and build your own entry. Go to WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. Use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match your deposit. Take the free money, build your entry, win that entry, withdraw your free money, and then just continue to play with house money. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. That promo code is WWP.